The mission is actually to feed 1 million people, everyone.
We come out every single evening of the year.
It was wasteland here. It was completely overgrown, brambles and everything.
And you see that appreciation on every individual's face.
You know, there's a real need in Croydon for a service like this, so it's good to see what you're doing has a real impact.
Croydon!
Croydon is the largest London borough, but also one of the poorest. There are an estimated 200 people sleeping rough in the town centre every night. Plus, the council is in over £1 billion of debt, leading to cuts for public services across the board. Bus stops, schools, swimming pools, libraries. So many things are being underfunded by local and central government, and the axe hasn't stopped swinging yet. But everywhere you look, there are people trying to plug the gaps. They're out here helping the needy, offering community spaces, and at the risk of sounding like a motivational Instagram post, being the difference that they want to see in the world. These are just some of the volunteer organisations that are out in Croydon on a regular basis. So, in a society where a lot of people might tell you there's no such thing as a free lunch, what makes so many people give up their time for free to help their community, often by literally feeding them? Join us, Nightwatch, as we speak to a few of the unsung heroes that make up Croydon's small army of volunteers.
Bring it over.
A yellow reminds me.
Well, my name is Ringo and I'm out here cooking some food for the homeless. So I'm on a mission right now. I've taken a journey. I've completed my first 10 weeks. So now, of completing the 10 weeks, we fed over 5,000 people. And now we're going to do a marathon. And the marathon's going to take us all the way up to Christmas. The mission is actually to feed 1 million people, everyone. Wow. Literally. So we're basically going to be going out into different communities. Where Croydon's like a local borough, we're tackling this borough like it's like the heart to us. So basically we're tackling this borough like, and it's local to us as well. So the love starts from home, they say. Yeah. That's it. So we're putting the love in from here at home.
We are the Hive community garden. It was thought up by a local 2 years ago in February. She came up with the idea because it was wasteland here. It was completely overgrown, brambles and everything. And she asked the council if they had any land that we could use as a community garden. And they said, oh, here then. And we just got stuck in. We had diggers and what have you to clear it all. We got donations from a local developer, actually, Barrett's, who paid for these planters and the path and everything to be done. So that was the real hardcore stuff. And then after that, as volunteers, we've just developed everything else. Planted up things and vegetables and flowers and plants and everything. And then welcomed the public in. That's our mission, is to make it a lovely, quiet community garden for all local people to come to.
No publicity, please.
So Nightwatch is a daily soup kitchen. We come out every single evening of the year. We supply soup and sandwiches at the very least. There's no hot food tonight, but very often we're supported by other faith groups who will bring along hot food, but tonight it's just us. We've been going for nearly 50 years in this vicinity, doing the same thing day in, day out.
Yeah, I live nearby. I'd often seen the Nightwatch active on my stroll in the evening. And after COVID, actually, I thought I wanted to do something for the community, but also get back in touch with people, do some sort of a physical activity face-to-face with people. Yeah. So started about 3 years ago.
So the second question is, what's the best thing about volunteering and doing all this for you?
The best moment is literally when the food's completed and you actually see the joy in everyone's face when they take that meal and they actually eat, and you see that appreciation on every individual's face and the smile. So, and that's the whole reason why I'm coming out to do it, to create and build back love and rekindle love amongst each and everyone, no matter what culture, no matter what class you come from. But yeah, we're just here for humanity, really, and it's just humanitarian while we're doing this, because we have, me personally, I have a passion for it, for humanity in general. Yeah, just to see happiness amongst us as humans, and that's it. When I give them this food will give them back everything that they need in their body, like 10 a day. Protein in there, we've got a bit of carbs in there, we've got a bit of iron in here from the green bananas, and then the pumpkin, we've got the thyme. Yeah, thyme's like an anti-inflammatory, that's inside there as well.
Oh, I think it's probably watching everything grow, everything come out and be colourful, the fruit and the vegetables growing, and we just picked a load of it to make a dinner so that we can share with people. Nice. Last year we had a massive marrow, and that was the basics of the dish. But we had one of the volunteers cooked it all for us, and we shared it with the library staff and the NHS staff that were here doing vaccinations, and some of the shop owners and residents from around the area. So it was really nice.
Yeah, as you can see, like there's things like the sunflowers and that, so things that come out that are really, make it a vibrant and bright place. And and the visitors that come all say how lovely it is to have a peaceful little oasis in the middle of Coulsdon, a town centre, to come and enjoy it.
I'd like to add as well that it's great to be here with everybody and sharing some nice time together. And for example, I'm retired now from NHS, and for me it's great to be with them and do something, feeling that I'm still useful.
Acts of kindness, really. You'll see people here are, in poverty. Some of them are street homeless, some of them are just in poverty. They are generally a really nice bunch. They're very appreciative of what we do for them, which is nice, and it's all very friendly. And sometimes you see clients actually being really nice to each other. And I just sort of take away the kind of the warm feeling, really.
For me, two things, I guess. One is that there's a real need in Croydon for a service like this. So it's good to see that what you're doing has a real impact. And secondly, people do volunteer really nice, and it's a real team spirit. And yeah, that's nice as well.
What's been the biggest challenge during your time volunteering doing this project?
Probably the water, I should think.
Yeah. I think the water initially, because there's no electricity or water supply, so we were able to get these water containers from a local business on the old water estate, and then so now we rely on rainwater and everything, but we do still have to use the watering cans and the containers to physically take it around and water it.
Yeah. We really couldn't put anything in until we got a source of water.
Yes, yeah. So
that was quite important.
The biggest challenge.
At the moment, we are facing a challenge of where to serve when it's raining. We serve out in the open, but during COVID times, when no one was using the Croydon Council building, we started to use the canopy at the public entrance of Bernard Weatherall House. Nobody really had anything to say about it for a couple of years because nobody was working in here. It was all kind of very unofficial, but everyone was just getting on with it. When people came back from COVID, the council, they asked us, there was a bit of conversation amongst us and them. We went in for a meeting and they said, would we move on because they needed to have people in here in the evenings, and we were sort of in their way, and we said absolutely yes, we agree, and we moved over to Queen's Gardens. Now Queen's Gardens is where we always served, but that got developed recently, and now it's more of a play area, and we don't feel it's right for us to take our clients into the play area. So we have found ourselves a little corner of Queen's Gardens which has been undeveloped. When it's raining, then the clients seek shelter underneath the canopy of Bernard Weatherall House again, and this has caused some problems.
I haven't really had any issues from the public or anything like that, but what I have had struggles with from time to time is just basically getting ingredients and putting everything together. And now at the time where I'm at now, I actually want to go into another area, but where I'm not driving, that's where I'm actually going, like brainstorming now, getting back to the drawing board now, and just finding solutions on how basically I could get across the board or across the bridge into central London and start tackling other areas.
If you had a lot more resources behind you and your projects and your mission, what would you do with it?
When you say resources, could you
anything you want, money, or manpower, people to do things, more community support, more support from the council, whatever.
So basically, we'd be able to tackle our mission more effectively, especially having like a vehicle, like a van. We'll be able to move from place to place quicker. We'll be able to provide preset meals as well, so we'll be able to provide more meals. Essentially as well, we'd be able to provide other things like essential things that they need for toiletries, living conditions, you know, like things like hats, scarves, gloves, underwears, things like that. So getting budgeting together to provide other essential things that they may need, like clothing as well, especially going into the winter period as well. They might need sleeping bags, tents, things like that. So we'd be able to provide a lot more if we had like a vehicle, for instance, and then basically had like backative or funding to support the day-to-day cause. And then eventually we could spread it from borough to borough, to country.
Our plan at the moment is to try to put a cover, some sort of shelter over the corner of the gardens that is left undeveloped. We would like to cover that and be able to serve the food under there, keeping volunteers and the food and many of the clients at that time. We'd like to keep them dry. We're battling with the planning department, we're battling with the assets department, we're at a stalemate, so we can't really move. We can't do something to help the weather situation, so we're kind of stuck doing this.
I think we all know we'd like a shelter over here, and we have the ideal space for a shelter, and it would shelter us in the sun, in the summer from the sun, because it's extremely hot in here and there's no shade, and in the winter obviously shade us from the rain and the wind. We have groups come in, we had the Beaver Scouts recently, we've had other groups come in, and the library might be able to use it for their rhyme time to come out with the little ones if we had somewhere out of the wind and rain and with seating, so a shelter would be our ideal.
We'd like more volunteers, and we are all still learning ourselves, aren't we, in terms of the gardening. I mean, we all do some gardening, I think, at home, but we're still very much learning, and like where the plants will grow and where they do best, and
how big they grow, how much space they need,
that
sort of
thing. We put a lot of stuff in last year because we were given it, but this year
we've had to move things.
We need to move things.
Yeah, because it's grown
separate
out,
things, move things.
But we do have some people that have got some expertise, like Fiona, and Sarah is another volunteer, and so sharing their expertise with the rest of us is lovely, and and getting donations of plants and what have you from local residents.
If you can't do anything, you can water, and you can deadhead.
Weeding.
It's weeding. It's always welcome.
That's definitely me.
All right, well, you heard it here. If anyone watching this wants to get down to some weeding or watering of plants, you know where to go.